series, TREV'S Bushland channel. It's all about the bushland and travelling around, looking at historic places and interesting places, the bush and the surrounds, and some also abandoned places. So this is the start, and we're in the Warby Ranges, the mighty Warby Range. So much to do, so much to see here at the Warby Range, Wangaratta. So, we're going to take you for a walk on the Pine Gully track. The Pine Gully track. So, you've seen the goanna, the snake and the goanna information, which is quite interesting. So this is all Aboriginal area surrounding. And so, let's go on this Pine Gully walk. Let's go. Let's do it. Yes. The Pine Gully Nature Walk. Let's go. Now this track, the Pine Gully Nature Walk, is unformed and rocky in places. The track can be slippery in the summer and in the wet. We've got to take extra care in rocky areas. Wet rocks and moss are very slippery. Here we are. This is known as Pine Gully. And here we gradually going upstream of Pine Gully. Very much like a creek. But in the mountains like this, we call it a gully. And this leads to a waterfall as we go downstream, so we'll be checking out the waterfall. Now have a close look at this granite rock we call the mineral jigsaw. Notice the different coloured minerals tightly interlocked with each other. You are looking at a rock that is at least 350 million years old. Like other intruded rocks, granite cooled very slowly, producing large mineral crystals banded together in an extremely hard rock. This is what is known as the spur wing wattle. Yeah. It's easily recognised by its stiff, sharp, pointed leaves curving out from the stem. Leaves is not really the correct word to use. For most wattles they are used actually flattened stems called phyllodes, or dry climate adaptation. They have fewer tomates or pores through the leaves, lose valuable water. Many years ago, a tiny native pine seeding fell into a crack in this granite boulder. Over the years, the growing tree root broke the rock, and then, when the tree fell, lifted a piece of the rock, as you can see now. Okay, what are we looking at is the Murray pine. This is the Murray pine, or the white cypress pine. It's considered as a valuable timber to resistance to insects. There's something to do with this, and the termites. Many of these trees fell to the axe and saw to supply timber for the ceilings and walls of the early settlers' homes. Yeah. So there you are, the white cypress pine. You might be wondering why there's so many wood, loose, fallen sticks on the ground, because of dry weather. We had a drought way back in 1982, and this was the result of it. A lot of limbs have fallen to the ground. There's this lack of water. Early settlers brought sheep into the Warbys to feed on the grassy understory below and widely spaced trees. Many of the trees that dominated the landscape were killed by ring barking to reduce the competition with other vegetation that sheep preferred to eat. The dead tree still has marks of the ring barker's axe. Now this here is what we call the red box gum trees. The red box. And the red box trees were used for fencing, built fences. The reason how we can name the red box is we can tell by the leaves, the red leaves. Yeah. See the red on there? That's the red box. So as you can see, a lot of trees, a lot of limbs came off the trees on the ground. As I said earlier, it's because by the drought we had. It started way back in the early 80s, about 1981, 82. Drought. There's this lack of water, and this is all protected. So you may think it could be used for firewood, but in the early days the Aborigines used all this to build their houses and fences and whatever. But today, because this is a national park, they cannot be touched. So all these sticks of wood and trees are there for the nature habitat. Grass trees grow taller in the Warby Range than anywhere else in southeast Australia, closely related to the lily family. Grass trees are well known for their thick grass skirt made of dry leaves surrounding the blackened trunk. The tall flower spike with its mass of creamy flowers looked to the early explorers like a native warrior carrying a spear. And you can be wondering what's that on top? We call that the kangaroo paw, or the kangaroo tail, as the legend goes. Rest for a while. Red stringy bark. That's what we call the trees, the gum trees. You got names: red stringy bark. You got the yellow box, and so they see the colours of the trees, so they know which wood's what. And yeah, I mean, a lot of these trees are red gum, used for fences, as I said, for housing, to build things. The Aborigines used to build houses, their own houses. When I mean houses, I mean little shacks with sticks. They're up for living. So it's all preserved. down because of the drought, lack of water. Yeah, and during this walk we might, hopefully, we might see an odd kangaroo or a wallaby. They are around, so we might see them around. Let's see. Usually late in the afternoon or come on dusk, the kangaroos, wallabies come out. So we might, hopefully, if we see one, we'll film it. Okay, let's go. Now, if you're here in the summer, you will hardly recognise the dried out version of this normally lush green mat of rock ferns. The ferns need water to reproduce and hence grow on damp sites. The shallow soils here, however, dry out rapidly in hot weather, and so do the ferns. When the rains come again, new fronds are sent from the underground. Surprisingly, the old dried up fronds may also take up water, begin to grow again. Plants which have this ability are called resurrection plants. Okay, we come to an area in the bush where we found a lookout, a bit of a view looking west from the Warby range. Yeah. Hope you're enjoying this journey so far. We're halfway now, and probably won't be long we'll be seeing a waterfall. That'll be the highlight. Then we'll end this vlog. Okay.